Hey there, it's Lee Norwood with Annapolis College Consulting and the College Sharks. And today we're going to give you a quarterly roundup of exactly where your teen should be in the college process, as well as some predictions we have for the class of 2027 and 2028. So get ready for the ride. This is a question that parents all over the country are asking themselves. And it's really up to you to figure out how much support you're able to give your student in the college process. We are able to help you with one on one college counseling, but we also have an asynchronous learning DIY do it yourself program through College Sharks. So check out our advice, listen to what we have to say, and then decide if you think that you need a coach. If you think college admissions has changed, you're absolutely right. It's a much more fiercely competitive game these days than it was in the 80s, 90s, and early 2000s. Kids are testing multiple times. They're stressing over what they're going to do in the summer. They're competing with their friends within their high school, and they're applying to way more colleges than they should. And all this does is increase pressure and anxiety. Here are some of the challenges that we see at College Sharks. We see that kids are comparing themselves to others, or they're saying that student has the same SAT and I have a better GPA, therefore. You can't compare yourself to another student because you don't know the whole story. 65 schools. There are 65 schools that almost all of our students apply to. They're just constant. They're the ones that people think are the best. They're in the, US News and World Report. The bottom line is the best school for you is the best school for you and what you're going to do there and what you're going to get out of it. So stop chasing the same 65 schools. I often get, well, we might as well try. I know that Yale probably isn't within our range, but we might as well try. Why? No's hurt. There's data, there are statistics. We can back up where your student fits and which schools will be right for them. So don't just throw that Hail Mary. They very, very infrequently catch the ball. About not thinking independently, I call this the herd mentality. All the kids that are at certain high schools, I can pretty much name at least six of the schools that are going to be on their college list because all of their friends are applying to those same schools. This is a process where there are over 3,500 schools across the country. You really need to take some time and dive into what you want out of the college process. What are the outcomes you want to bring after your 4 year degree? And what school is going to help you be the best student that you can be in your undergraduate journey. I have a TikTok channel called I Heard That, and I love it. This is what I call BS from the parents' sidelines. I always get parents that say, I heard that several kids got an appeal when they appealed their denial, or I heard that I can't apply to XYZ school anymore, or I heard that they don't really read the essays at that college. You don't know, and those parents don't know. So let's try to kill those rumors from our adult perspective because the kids are getting so much social media noise at their perspective. This online gobbledygook on TikTok and Instagram and chat, what is it? Snapchat, all of that stuff. Kids are feeling bad about themselves because they're comparing themselves to these kids that have thousands or millions of followers on their social media platform. It doesn't mean they know what they're doing. All right, let's get into it. I am going to give you my predictions for the future based on what we know from the class of 2026. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about how college lists are changing. I want to share a little bit about the international schools and students. We want to talk about standardized testing, why it's important and why it seems to be coming back. Also, big elephant in the room is the role that AI will play in college admissions, those rising college costs. I personally don't feel that anyone should pay full price for college. We'll talk to you a little bit about that. And then using data to help your decision. This is a human process, but often data from the past can help you make a better decision towards the future. We've got that data, and I'll talk to you about that too. All right. As far as the college list goes, we have seen the class of 2026 absolutely explode the SEC schools. So many kids want to go south now that those schools are getting just overrun with applications. And kids aren't applying to just the one that they love the most. They're applying to a number of them, which is just driving up the applications at those schools, driving down their statistics as far as who gets in. Another thing is that flagship state schools are really, really hard to get into for out of state kids. Another question is, does your student have a major and does that matter? Well, yes, it does matter if they have a particular major or interest, but also I really think that college is a time of exploration and lots of schools have great exploratory programs. You also have to remember that prestige is often local. You may not be familiar with Harvey Mudd because you don't live in California, but it's one of the most highly recognized schools in the country. Where you're always looking at MIT, some people are looking at Colorado School of Mines and Harvey Mudd. So prestige is local, and we want you to open your mind to find the right school for your student. Politics may weigh in for your family this coming year, and the college visit is crucial, both when you're looking at a school and then when you're in trying to decide which one is going to be your home for the next 4 years. If you're looking for big sports, and lots of kids are, these are the schools that are going to have an explosion in applications because they're in the SEC. Ah, alas, the public ivy. What does that mean? Well, they're a big deal right now. These are schools where the admissions rate to get in is less than 10% for out of state kids. And even in state kids have a hard time getting into these schools. These schools are taking kids from their state that are at the top of their game right now. So if you're looking to go out of state to any of these schools, that right there is going to limit your opportunities of getting in. International schools used to be super popular when it came for study abroad. But more and more students are considering the 3 year plan. It's 3 years to get in and out of a school in the UCAS system, which is the United Kingdom. It's a very, very different process, and we can help. We had several students this year apply and get in to schools across the pond. Now, international school interest is going up, but the number of international students coming to the US for school is going down a little bit again this year. Will that create more space for your student? Who knows, but it is a trend. Testing is back. Now, many, many schools remain test optional, more than you actually think. But testing is an important indicator of college readiness. More students are saying they're bad test takers, but really they're simply not preparing. High school doesn't prepare you to take the standardized SAT or ACT. So, in order to ace those tests, students also often need to get some tutoring. Now, there is free tutoring on College Board, and there's also lots of tutoring companies around the country, and they're growing because they know that higher test scores often give you more merit aid and give you a leg up in getting into the process. So right now, juniors start thinking about getting ready, or I'm sorry, sophomores start thinking about getting ready for your PSAT, which will be in October of junior year. And juniors, you should have your official SAT or ACT test plan and your dates booked. Also, don't forget the AP tests are also standardized and they show college readiness. So if you're taking APs now, make sure you're planning to study for those exams. They've taught you to the test all year. They show college readiness, and sometimes good scores turn into college credit. SAT test takers, you're probably going to be looking at March or April if your high school offers that. I can't, get rid of an opportunity for us to plug College Sharks digital test prep. We are here for you. If your student wants a higher score, we have partnered with a test prep company to build College Sharks digital test prep. It's asynchronous learning or a series of classes up to test date, or our fabulous cram session, which is 48 hours before the test. ACT, are you thinking about that? Well, colleges don't care which test you take, but we do have an ACT diagnostic, and we're happy to get that for you to see which test actually resonates better with the way your brain works. AI. Wow. I was just interviewed by the Baltimore Sun about the role of AI in college admissions. Let's talk about the role of AI in our lives. It's here. It's here to stay. It's a thing. We've got to figure out how to use it, just like we figured out how to use cell phones and we figured out how to use the World Wide Web. Colleges are using AI to help them get through their application process. So you need to stand out by having a solid story with no fluff. Often they're going to be using this in the first round and comparing it to, did the AI choose the same students as our human readers did? Um, that will come to fruition, and I have a feeling it's going to be a yes. All these schools that are inundated with applications, they need help getting through the ones that aren't going to be a fit for their school so that they can have a human look at the ones that are a fit and decide which students they will choose to be in their class. And then let's talk about essays. I can often tell if an essay is AI. I can also tell if a parent's written an essay. This is a 17-year-old in a 17-year-old voice. But they're going to use AI to help them. Essays are going to get better. Punctuation problems aren't probably going to be there, but AI is the skeleton. It's up to your student to put the guts and the skin and the muscles and the heart and the lungs all in there. Okay. So you need to bring it alive. You can use AI to help you along. It's there, it's going to stay. But let's just make sure that we just use it to help us get better or to help us get started. And it's still ourselves that we're putting in. Juan Espinoza, Vice President Provost for Enrollment Management, said this quote, if the human and AI scores differ by more than 2 points, a second human reviewer is brought in to ensure consistency and fairness. So most schools have internal scoring in their formulas as they're choosing their applicants. They give applicants a numeric score for a lot of hard data like GPAs, test scores. And if that scoring were handed over to AI, then it would free up a lot more time for admissions officers to read more in depth, I'm sorry, and to really take that holistic look. We got past the things that are hard data. Now, what classes, what leadership, what activities, what essay, all of those types of things that a human needs to read and need to be done at a more personal level. This is where you should be right now. And this to your timeline might just save your relationship with your student. We know that senior year is the last year you're going to be living full time with that student if they're going off to college. So let's make it a positive and happy time. Go to collegesharks.com. You can download this timeline. What it's showing right now, end of February, beginning of March, is you should be looking at teacher recs, maybe thinking about your essay drafts. You could even open the common application if you're super, super motivated. Um, Summer is also a really great time to up your game and get most of your applications started. So this timeline should be on your fridge. All right, here's the elephant in the room and the truth of it all. College costs are soaring. They're rising, rising, rising. Public schools are less expensive typically than private schools. Public schools have less merit aid or discounts off of tuition than private schools. Private schools have more leverage to bring that inflated cost down. Each of our families should plan to have a one on one meeting about the cost of college. We all are in a program called Counsel More. It gives detailed information about how much all in the cost of that college is, how much merit aid on average that college offers to its students, what percentage of those students get that, and if you qualify for need based aid at the school, what percentage of that gap, which is something we will talk about when we're one on one, will that school cover? Every single school is different. Every school has a net price calculator on their portal or on their website. Go and use it. The worst thing in the world is to think your student's going to be different. Your student's going to get that elusive scholarship that no one else has ever gotten. Now, there are presidential scholarships, and there's always going to be one person that says, but I got it. But overall, let's talk about the bell curve. Most of the kids in the middle, that's the data that we're looking at. You go and you get into a super highly selective school that does not need to lower its price of admission in order to attract you, and you're looking at a full price opportunity, right? You're looking at 70, 80, $90,000 a year. So if you knew you couldn't afford that in the beginning, then let's just take that school off the list and just lower the stress in the family and apply places that fit for the student and fit financially for the family. Our juniors are currently researching colleges, and it's really important for them to go in and do the tours and dig deep into that college's website. My least favorite thing when a family comes on with me is, we want a top 10 university. Well, for what? Like, for what is Iowa's a top writing school for someone who wants to be a journalist, right? So, but it's not going to be in that top 10 with Yale and Harvard and Stanford that might come from US News and World Report. So when you come to me with, I want a top 10 or a top 20 university, it means nothing to me. We want to find 10 schools that are right for your student. And I think no one's going to come to me and say, hey, this is what I think about the college process. Please change my mind. But you kind of should, because I think I probably will change your mind. Let's find the right school for your student. You want to lead with your major or your interests, and then match those with your preferences for size and location and the weather, and whether you want big rah rah sports. You can get that at small schools. You don't have to go to a Big Ten university to get the feeling of being a super fan. I'm just going to ask you right now, are Colgate, Bowdoin, Bates, are they on your list? Pepperdine, is that on your list? Those are not really close to this mid Atlantic area. So lots of times, even though they're really highly prestigious schools, they're not going to be on some kids' lists. So let's look at the list together. This is going to be the second largest amount of money you will spend after buying your house. So we need to take it seriously, and research is the key. Right here, I'm going to show you some of the resources we use to help families. They're on the left. And then a few books that I've read cover to cover, that if you're that kind of research person, they may really help you understand the process. And if you follow us on social media, we're going to try to entertain you. We're going to try to excite you about the process. And we're also going to give you tips, tricks, and try to keep you on track. You want to find the right guide, okay? And if you want to learn more about us and more about what we do, I've been on lots of podcasts. The media is taking College Sharks by storm. And that's our do-it-yourself asynchronous learning platform, where we deliver videos each month that tell you where you should be, what you should be doing, and why it's important. And then, of course, we also have our one-on-one services, and we have essay-only services. But if you want to learn a little bit more about our vibe, because it's important that you vibe with your college counselor at school. And then if you hire one from outside of school or use something like College Sharks. Here's an example of some places you can find us in the media. And guess what? We're going to be on TV this spring on Inside Success Network. So follow us, and we'll let you know when you get to see our TV program. Before we wrap it up, I just want to remind you that you want to plan some college visits. You want to plan those when students are on campus. So lots of families want to go during spring break. Make sure that school, that college is not also on spring break, because there's nothing more lonely than Virginia Tech with no students. And there's nothing that will break the Richter scale and the sound barrier more than Virginia State with Metallica playing at a football game. So do your due diligence. At College Sharks, we do have a video called Making the Most of Your College Visit. Again, we invite you to join College Sharks. We have a freemium product, so it's absolutely free, no credit card. Go to collegesharks.com and download our college starter kit. Once you've gotten through that, you'll probably be able to decide whether you really think you can do it yourself, you want to do it yourself with some help from us, or you want some one-on-one guidance. Here is a list of things that juniors should be taking seriously right now. If you can say that you've done each of these things, I'm going to let you know that you might be a little bit ahead of the game. And if you have any questions, you can always set up a free 30-minute family college planning meeting with me. I'm more than happy to answer your questions and also share some things with you about ways we may be able to help you. I want to be a resource. It's not a sales pitch. I love what I do. It's always more than 30 minutes because I can't be quiet. But we welcome you to do that. And how do you do that? You just go to AnnapolisCollegeConsulting.com and click connect. I hope you guys watched the Olympics. It was a sight to see. It was absolutely amazing. I was so proud of the USA. I was so proud of all the athletes from everywhere. I just want to remind you that in order to be at the top of your game, it's often the best to have a coach. Here's some good news. Did you know that you can use your 529 to pay for college consulting and for test prep? That's pretty cool.
I want you to know the pressure
is
real. The pressure of going through the college process is hurting families. Parents are stressed. The teens feel it.
And
you feel like your smart kids should be able to get into all of these schools. And guess what? If they do, then sometimes the price tag's just not going to work for your budget. So let's save some time. Let's smooth the road out. The longer the runway, the smoother the takeoff. We are now working with sophomores and juniors for one-on-one consulting. And College Sharks is open right now for juniors and for our essay clinic. So don't try to do it alone. You always get better results with a personal trainer or a coach. We're here.